stack. What? Bought her a bobble, not a Birkin bag. Shawty asked me to go work, man, where them churches at? Jezebel, she got that spirit, I ain't flirting back.
My name is Johnathan Campbell.
Shawty asked me what I bang, I told Shawty that I'm a Jesus disciple. Matter of fact, his biggest sniper. I walk through the hood with my hand on the Bible, sick in the lost, preaching the word up in Cali. They thinking I'm a 49. I'm calling for Paul, cause I be shooting them scripts at the devil like I'm in the final. Step on the odds, I got.
And welcome to my documentary. So, growing up, I was always a guy. I grew up in Douglasville, Georgia. And it was like almost immediately, I was introduced to God. Almost immediately, boom, I knew who Jesus was just like that. From my mom introducing me, going to church and all that, it was just almost immediate. I had my brothers, my sister, and that was, that's how it was, growing up like that. I was born at 8:55 p.m., I believe. So, growing up, it was not, it was great for me. You had things like, Captain D's, what was that thing called? Hold on, let me think. Captain D's, Pig in the Blanket, frozen foods, frozen corn dogs, frozen biscuits, boy. Macaroni and hot dogs, boy. That was my favorite meal, yeah. So, we didn't grow up rich, but we weren't wealthy either. So we were just, we was going. And I think that was when I was like happy. I feel like money doesn't buy happiness. You got to be happy personally. I can go on the street right now and see a happy man that don't even have nothing, or I can go, and see like a rich man that has it all and not be happy. I won't say I was never rich. I was never rich, not once in my life. I won't say I was rich, but I feel like I was wealthy at one point, as far as family wise, and yeah. So growing up, I was a huge wrestling fan. I'm talking about Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Undertaker. It was crazy too, because I remember too, from my memory, when I was like 3 or something like that. I was kind of introduced to Undertaker, and he does that thing where he rolls his eyes in the back of his head, and I remember just sitting there, scared, My mom, she always worked real hard, to get us as a family whatever we needed, She was a very strong woman, being able to take care of us three, It wasn't easy, trust me, it wasn't easy, To this day, that's what, I really, wake up every day for. I wake up to be able to, make first and foremost God proud and make her proud every day, So that's why I do what I do. As far as football goes, football was always on the back burner. It was always a part of my family. My father played football, my brother as well, and But yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready. Angie, give a topic.
Yeah. So I feel like I was always just meant to be a running back. You know what I'm saying? It's always meant to like run the ball. I mean, every clip my brother got, or every time I think about or dreamt about like football, it was always me running the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I was just meant to be a running back. As far as corner goes, he was cool, but I don't think that was for me in my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So growing up, I was a bag in the school. Boy, I'm telling you, boy, bag in the school wasn't the greatest, man. Wasn't the greatest, Stayed in a lot of trouble, got into a lot of fights, was a real crash out for real. There was this one story, I'm not gonna tell y'all boys, but my brothers and my sister, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I'm not gonna tell y'all boys. Y'all gotta stay tuned for that. You know what I'm saying? It's a wild story, but it happened. Yeah, man. I won't say I was like, although I knew who Jesus was, I wasn't, as close as I am to him now. Jesus saved me. I mean, it was times was rough, and he saved me. Not even just me. He saved my mom. He saved, my whole family. Even when, I didn't know him. Not like how I know him now. My brother didn't know him. My sister didn't know him. He was just always like, okay, I know who Jesus is. I believe in him, But I never really, there's a difference between, believing in Jesus and, actually give your life to him and live your life according to his ways and wishes, so that's always something, so yeah. Growing up, man, it was difficult work, I'm telling you, man. It was, I won't say it was difficult, growing up. But I think back on it was great, it was, I think it was taken advantage of. I didn't really see, when you are into something or living into something, or you could be dating somebody, and you don't really realize the worth of that, of something or somebody, for example, you may find a pre-31 woman, or and you may not be as close with God, as you are now, and that because she's close with God and you not, that may be a reason why y'all just stop talking. You don't realize sometimes in life you don't realize what you have until it's gone. So I think that was the case as far as, living. So I didn't live in Douglasville all of my life. I think I moved right when I was around, I think like 8, 10, somewhere in there. Around about 5th grade is when I moved. I remember that. I remember too, 6th grade year. I got into a fight like the first day, something like that. Well, I won't say it was a fight, but like it was just like a little, little scuffle. I'm a real competitive person. Really competitive, especially when you get me, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, when I was growing up wrestling my brothers and all that, it was always like, I was competitive with them, I was always, competitive with them and everything like that. And even when playing in 2K, Madden, with my brother, I was always, competitive then too, so being that competitive person, we playing basketball last 6th grade year, and he just kept fouling, and stayed on business. But if I had to tell you one last thing, and a quote, is that tell the people you love how you feel before it's too late, and cherish and live in the moment of what you got. Because right now you may be in a situation, or with somebody that you may not see go well, and actually end up going well. So y'all gotta live in the moment and let God handle the future.